Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is just going to be a recent finds video, some stuff that I've picked up over the past couple weeks, as well as some VCLT from two of our very own VC members here. So I wanted to take some time to give them a quick thanks as well. And yeah, some vinyl, a few CDs, 2 or 3 deluxe CDs, like 3 cassettes that I wanted to share. So yeah, just kind of some just music in general. A few different formats this time. But let's start off with let's see. Actually, I want to do VCLT first. I want to thank a couple VC members first. So I'll start off with Ronnie from Ronnie's Record Room. As if you've watched Billy Hurst's video, he just put up maybe a few hours ago, I think. He kind of talked about how Ronnie and his family were kind of traveling around, and they actually made it to our neck of the woods. So Billy was kind of talking back and forth between us, and he was able to kind of set up a time we could all get together. So we were able to touch base. We all went out to lunch and just kind of sat around the big table eating barbecue, talking all kinds of stuff, and just had a really good time. I had a chance to meet both his sons and his awesome wife. She was cool as a fan. Yeah, I mean, it was just a really great time. Then after that, we kind of went digging and hit a couple of stores. And the last store that we went to, I knew I had some stuff that I was bidding on eBay later that afternoon, a number of things. So I was, didn't want to spend too much. And I know I also had a record show coming up that Sunday, so I was kind of, staying under control. So there was one record that I was really kind of wanting. I was actually carrying it around for a while, and I decided to put it back. And unbeknownst to me, I don't know if Billy told him or if Ronnie saw it, but Ronnie kind of snuck off and got it and gave it to me later as VCLT, which had me really pumped because I was really wanting this record. And it is a MoFi pressing of Miles Davis, Jack Johnson. I've had my eye on this for quite some time and just never pulled the trigger, and the last 2 times I was in that shop, just something else popped up that I decided to get instead. And Ronnie just decided to sneak off and do this awesome thing and pick up this this awesome piece of VCLT for me. So man, Ronnie, I really appreciate it, man. Again, it was absolutely great meeting you and the fam, and hope you guys had a safe travels back, and definitely hope we get a chance to do it again. And thanks for just an awesome addition to the collection. I mean, nice Miles Davis MoFi pressing there. And second person I want to give a big VCLT thanks to is Rod, the Happy Hippie. He sent over a couple things, and clearly he's been watching my recent videos and kind of listening to what I've been blabbing about, because he sent over this right here, which is a copy of Uriah Heep, Nog or something like that. I'm never sure if I'm saying that right. So yeah, he's clearly heard me kind of going on and on about Uriah Heep over the past, I don't know, month or two, and he was gracious enough to kind of send over this album. And this is kind of a cool album too, because it really takes me back to my early days of collecting. Because I remember when I first started collecting, and I saw this album and had no idea, who Uriah Heep was. And by the cover, my first thing was, oh, it must be metal. So when I throw it on in the store, I'm thinking it's going to be like, some thrash band or something like that. And I put it on, and clearly it wasn't that. And I had never touched or thought about the album again. And this is my early days, like the first year into my vinyl collecting. So it's kind of interesting now to start getting into Uriah Heep and then having a chance to sit down and listen to this the other day. Just even seeing that cover just kind of took me back to that that moment in that store. But really cool stuff. That creature always reminds me of that beast off of the movie Big Trouble in Little China. If you guys remember that. Every time I see that, it makes me think of that movie. But yeah, Rod, thanks so much, man, for sending that over. Especially knowing that I'm really kind of getting into that band right now. And then you also included this 12-inch Dirty Dogs. What is it? Yeah, Must Be the Booty. I had no idea what it was. And I threw it on and just started listening to it, man. I was like cracking up the whole time. So, your collection can always use another Rump Shaker song. So I appreciate you throwing that in too. That was pretty entertaining. But yeah, thanks for sending that over as well. Yes, so yeah, Rod and Ronnie, again, thank you so much. It's always a blessing and very thoughtful for you guys to think about me, think about anyone for that matter. But yeah, really appreciate it. So let me dive in. Let me show just a couple CDs really quick before I jump into the vinyl, because I don't have a lot of CDs I'm going to show. I have picked up quite a few. I think as Billy mentioned, we had a chance to do some digging with Ronnie and the family when they were here, and then Billy and I also went to a record show last Sunday, and as he kind of mentioned in his video, typically it's kind of become a hit and miss type of show, especially as I think, like, and I was probably the same for Billy too, as our taste has kind of gone up a little bit in terms of conditioning, pressings that we're looking for, loving the Japanese pressings and all that kind of stuff. You just don't have a ton of that stuff, doesn't show up at this show, but every now and then you'll get a vendor that kind of comes along and, kind of has a bunch of awesome stuff. So typically you'll go in there with a pocket full of money and you'll spend $5. But so this wasn't like the biggest show, the best one they've ever had, but at least it was enough, at least for me, where with the amount of money I walked in with, I actually kind of ran out and I had to borrow $40 from Billy just to, get what I wanted to get at the show and then pay him back when we left. So, so yeah, it was decent in that regard. But here's just a couple of things that I picked up there that I thought were kind of neat from the CD standpoint. Number one was this Velvet Underground, Andy Warhol here, and of course you guys know this album inside and out, so I don't have to say much about it. But it is the one of the deluxe CDs, which I'm collecting now, and I love getting these. I like getting these just as much as I do getting vinyl or like Japanese pressings right now. Like, that's how much I'm into these deluxe CDs. So if any of you guys out there, have any of these that, you may want to trade or, sell, whatever the case may be, please contact me below and let me know what you have. And, if you do, definitely kind of maybe work something out. But love those deluxe CDs with the slip covers. Those things are just really cool. Another good one that I picked up, which I've been needing to complete my homemade Kiss box set collection, and it's Kiss basically Live 4, the Symphony. I've been needing to get a copy of this for a while and stumbled across this this very nice digipacked version, because there's a CD store not too far from here that I go to all the time. A really cool owner. I love to just kind of sit around and chat with him. He's had a copy of this there, a jewel case copy, that's missing one CD. So it's like every time I go in there and I'm looking through the hard rock section, that CD's always jumping out at me like, you don't have me yet? And I can't have that one because it's missing a disc. But it was really cool to finally find that. And again, it's just one of those really nice deluxe CDs that I love. And the last deluxe CD I want to show is this one here, which is The Police. Just kind of a greatest hits type of thing. Even though I have all their studio albums with Japanese CDs, this was really cheap and it was brand new actually, so still had the shrink and everything on it, so I thought that'd be a good pickup. And just a couple other really quick flashing fun CDs I picked up out of the number that I did. Grace Jones' Hurricane, another nice step towards completing her discography. Love me some Grace. The newest Overkill album. So got that on vinyl. Nice to finally get the CD. And then these three too. Again, nothing big, but just kind of, they were fun to find. Sticks. Now you got Paradise, you got Pieces, and you got Theater. You got some original AM CDs there. That was nice. And last one I'll kind of show here, Colt, Sonic Temple. A few weeks ago, I found a mint copy of this vinyl record in a store, and I know Billy Hurst was really, really wanting a copy of it. So I called him up, and he was like, yeah, it's mint. Grab it for him, picked it up for him. And ever since then, it got my curiosity going about that album again. So when I saw this CD, I was like, let me dive back in and revisit that. Of course, it has that song Sweet Soul Sister, which is a pretty big hit off of that for him. And then there's 3 quick cassettes that I'll show before I dive into the vinyl. Again, out of the number of cassettes that I picked up, but I think the ones that were kind of interesting was this Dio, which was Locked Up the Wolves. Neil Young, Comes a Time. Arguably my favorite Neil Young album. Definitely more so on his country kind of kick, but I mean, side 1 of this album is just, oh, you know, it had, what's her name, Nicolette, doing some duets and some background stuff with him, and this is a fantastic Neil album. None of the rock and roll stuff he used. This is definitely more on his country twang, but beautiful songs on that. And a little R.E.M. That was another nice one that I didn't have in my cassette collection. All right, so let's jump right into the vinyl here with a few different things. First one here, one of the albums that I picked up that prevented me from buying the Miles Davis that day when Ronnie and Billy and myself were all out digging, is this one right here, which is Western Stars, which is the new Bruce Springsteen album. Now, I had not given this much thought until Billy Hurst, again, was kind of ranting about it pretty strong in one of his videos. I mean, he was just saying a lot of positive things about it. And so, you know, just based off of his word and knowing Billy, I was like, okay, if Billy is going on like that, I need to give this thing a shot. So I picked this up, and it's a really strange record because, as weird as it sounds, I almost hear exactly what Billy was saying in the record. I think I'm like this far away from it. and I don't mean trying to force myself to like it. What I mean is each time you listen to it, something new comes up in it, and something kind of deeper and smoother, and like, you know, wow, did you hear that? You know, it's really strange in that way. You don't listen to it the first time and think, whoa, that's an incredible record. But every time you spin it, the songs just seem to get a little deeper and a little deeper. So yeah, I mean, I'm really starting to like this record, especially side 3, which is definitely my favorite. Chasing Wild Horses, Sundown, Somewhere North of Nashville, Stones. I mean, that side 3 is killer. It definitely is killer. So a lot more impressed than I thought I would be by this album. And one of those things too where the cover didn't quite make sense to me, but when you listen to the album and you kind of feel the nature of the, I'm not gonna say the freedom in it, but the just kind of that soul pouring stuff that Bruce can do sometimes. Like the album cover actually captures the essence of the music on here as well. So fantastic album, and I definitely, you know, highly recommend checking it out. And I highly recommend you must listen to it more than 1 or 2 times to really start to get it. Next one we'll go here. Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is just the greatest hits. Nice little 2 LP set. And yeah, just like that, greatest hits. You know, stuff like Under the Bridge, Give It Away, Californication, Scar Tissue, Soul to Squeeze, Suck My Kiss. You know, just all that great stuff. So, again, just another nice one when you want to just throw on some Chili Peppers and not have to, you know, flip records too much and kind of get all their hits. I guess I'll go with this one too. Nice little psych record that I picked up here, which is Crocodile. The first recordings. Was not familiar with this at all, and you know, Billy and I, we were out digging the other day, and this just popped up in a stack of stuff we were looking at, and the cover alone just made me say, I need to check this out. So I pulled it out and kind of gave it a listen, and I was like, oh yeah. You know, the psych portion of my collection is something I definitely want to build up more, It's stuff that I like, and I'm just not very familiar with the ins and outs of the bands and all that kind of stuff. So I'm constantly discovering stuff in that psych realm. But this was definitely an awesome one. So that was a great addition. A few things from the record show that Billy and I went to. Picked up this copy of Blue Angel. Kind of some early 80s stuff here. And for those that don't know, this was Cyndi Lauper before she went solo. Definitely some really good stuff there. Fun album, just your typical fun 80s album. Couldn't pass this up for like, I think $2 it was marked at. Little KC and the Sunshine Band. Always looking at adding to my disco collection. You know, this has stuff like, you know, Shake Your Booty and I'm Your Boogeyman, Keep It Comin' Love. Just fun stuff to listen to. So to find just a nice pristine copy of that was awesome. I've picked up a couple of these pieces, and you know, for the price and just to kind of have, you know, a nice plain copy in your collection, these aren't too bad. This is the best of Percy Sledge. It's that Drop the Needle on the Hit series that has recently come out. And yeah, so I mean, it's just, I have a number of different Percy things on CD, but you know, just kind of nice to have a vinyl here with, you know, all of his greatest hits and everything. And you know, When a Man Loves a Woman, all that great stuff. It also has That's How Strong My Love Is on here, which is pretty cool. So another nice addition there. I didn't know I left this one in here. Emotions, just a compilation of 80s soft rock stuff. But this does have my favorite song by I'm going totally brain dead. Geez, why am I forgetting? Stephen Bishop. Holy cow, shows my age. I just had a birthday yesterday, so I can definitely feel I'm getting older. The song It Might Be You, which is also kind of the theme song from Tootsie. Again, most people don't like soft rock and that whole nine, but I think that song is an absolute gem of a song. I never get tired of listening to it. So it was nice to find that on a little compilation album. George Benson, kind of going back to the jazz / vocal, kind of jazz and R&B-ish type of things too. But this is Give Me the Night. Very cool album by him, which of course the big hit off of this is the title track, Give Me the Night. Love that, my favorite George album. And then adding to the band that I've been going on about so much, I think I recently showed the CD of this and found that beautiful copy there of Uriah Heep, High and Mighty. Great, great, great album there. Highly recommend this one. So very cool stuff. As well as Uriah Heep again. This is Headfirst. This is kind of what, mid-80s, I believe. I guess early is like 83. So you can definitely hear their sound kind of changing in this one, where they were going more to that 80s kind of big rock type of thing, if you will. But you know, it's still definitely a good album. But you know, it's just kind of always interesting when a band has such a history, when you can kind of see those albums where they really go through their changes and start, you know, kind of going to a new sound and that type of thing. And the next two were really awesome here as well. That beautiful copy of Uriah Heep, Salisbury there. That was a beautiful find that kind of popped up out of nowhere. And I found that at a local store. And then at the record show, also found this copy of it. Again, Salisbury there. And from what I understand, I believe this was the UK pressing. Was it UK? And then this was the US pressing. And the track lists are slightly different too. But again, nice to pick up two Uriah pieces that are, you know, I haven't exactly found an easy time finding in perfect condition. So both of those were fantastic additions. This was just an upgrade as well. Again, Chicago Transit. Always hard to find these things in great condition because the black covers get so worn. So when I stumbled across that one that was in really good condition. Had to pick it up. And last but not least, I think I showed the CD of this a few months ago, and you know, I think I talked about in that video how I've always had a hard time finding a nice copy of that on vinyl. And you know, sure as crap, just a couple weeks after doing that video, I stumbled across a very nice copy. Johnny Hates Jazz, classic '80s right there. You know, Shattered Dream, Turn Back the Clock. I mean, just classic '80s stuff right there. Excuse me. So those were kind of some of the recent finds. There is some more stuff as well. As I kind of mentioned, I ran out of money at the record show, and all of this didn't come from the record show. So there were a few kind of audiophile things that I picked up, a few half-speed remasters, a couple of super discs. I also picked up a Japanese pressing. But then when I came back from the show, like I said, I didn't spend as much money there because I knew I was going to be putting some bids on some stuff on eBay that was going to be ending that day, all Japanese pressings, and I won all 16 of them. So I'm glad I didn't spend that money, and I left money in my PayPal account, which was good. So I figured what I would do is, instead of showing some of the audiophile stuff that I picked up at the record show, I would just wait till those get in, which I think they're in New York now, which is nice. Kind of fast shipping. So, and I'll just kind of do a, you know, one video for all that stuff when it kind of comes in too. But yeah, again, just want to thank Ronnie and Rod for the VCLT. That was really awesome. You know, hanging out with Billy is always awesome. I mean, we always have such a great time and just kind of really connect and really get each other. So that's always a blast when you can hang around someone that actually gets you. And yeah, VC, as always, thanks for watching. You guys have a great 4th of July. Be careful, be safe, and yeah, have a good one. All right, take care, guys.